Hello, true duelists. My name's Craig Fee, and as always, welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Update. YCS Niagara took place last weekend, bringing to light the state of the current format, now that Rage of the Abyss can bring to light the rage of the player base. Or something like that. 875 players showed up for the event, which is less than 1,000, and therefore proof that this game is entirely dead, and no one will ever again play in paper, just so long as we ignore the fact that this is actually, quite literally, the largest Canadian YCS in the game's history. Congrats Canada, I guess. And Konami went all out to spend as little as they possibly could on one of the most important YCSs of the year, following the release of Fuelos and the Azumina engine. There was no stream for the event, and instead we had the tried and true Konami blog, and tweets from people who were at the event, which is, as always, lame as shit. But refusing to pay Canadians what they're worth is a tried and true Canadian corporate tradition, as I've been told, which justifies the lack of a stream for this event, according to people destined to end up with profile pictures online that look something like this. So I hope you like reading about the duels people had, since that's literally all Konami has for you. Which is great, because players complain about reading their cards, so you know they're just itching for the opportunity to read about some things that happened in a duel and then some other things that happened a few plays later. Because yeah, you know, I normal summon Snake Eye Ash, and a few plays later, I resolve the effect of Mermail Abyss Lead to hand loop my opponent, and it's GG. Don't worry about the details, dude. It was just a few plays later. Still, the lackluster showing from the K-Man aside, this event did show us a lovely look at our new meta. And would you look at that, it's a whole lot like the old one, isn't it? Snake Eye decks approaching 50% of top cut once again. Now, there is again the distinction of Snake Eye Azumina as a deck as compared to Fire King Snake Eye with Azumina as a variant. Although I'm sure the exact way that Snake Eye Ash resolves into full combo isn't incredibly important to the people who are sick and tired of seeing Snake Eye Ash resolve into full combo. The Azumina cards do seem to do what a number of people predicted they would, that is, give a large bump to Snake Eye, especially in comparison to the previous 3 YCSs, which had a very dominant showing for Yugioh, to the point where some people said that Snake Eye was entirely dead regardless of Azumina, and you are now welcome to call them stupid as shit for saying that. I don't encourage you to do that, but this is the internet, and who gives a shit what I have to say? There is a handful of neat things going on in the top 32 though. Rescue Ace is also making use of the Azumina engine to get tops here, and 3 decks did show up that are very out of place in regards to North American YCSs. Plant Link, the bane of Europe, got to top 32, piloted by the same Julius Schwarzkopf that got second at YCS Lille. And yes, I'm barreling through the name pronunciation that I almost certainly did get wrong. Congrats to him though for once again showing that plants can in fact do well, even in the North American side of the pond. It's just that they run into the bricks that built this nation and get stonewalled. He apparently bricked in top 32, so I mean, that sucks, but I mean, hey, it's proof that plants are viable outside of Europe, right? Nope, it's proof that Julius is, and that's it. And how can we not mention the fact that an Exodia deck topped? That's right, the spiritual successor to Jeff Leonard is here, and it's a Floodgate Shifter deck. Yeah, that's right, I'm not going to pretend I know how to play the Millennium archetype in any meaningful way from the Infinite Forbidden, but I do know what Shifter and Secret Village do, and that's probably the exact same realization that his opponents had during the course of the event. Still, it's a deck that's not Fiendsmith or Snake Eye or Tenpai or Yugioh, so I know some of you are going to be excited as hell for that reason alone. Not unlike some of you were excited to learn that it's still 2018 in some capacity, as Sky Striker got top 32 at the event as well, piloted by the one and only Ryan Yu, who you may know as the World's Champion at Master Duel for 2024. And most notably for the Sky Striker list, he was not playing Fuelos or any main decked hand trap of any sort, with the exception of a single copy of Infinite and Permanence. Just good old Sky Striker board-breaking shenanigans, but done by a player that's almost infinitely better than you. Matter of fact, he took that deck all the way to the finals. The winner would ultimately be Landon Oliver with Fire King Azumina Snake Eye, and a huge congratulations to him for winning the first event of what I am now calling the Eternal Bird format. I wonder why I would give it that name. And while the Striker only got second place, it's still a hell of a performance and gives another look at what's viable in this new format, as well as the need for Fuelos. Because Fuelos and Dominus Impulse are the two new hand traps for our new format, and they put in a hell of a lot of work this weekend. A Mini-Max C can be as strong as it's going to be. I don't think we need to delve too much into that one, but Dominus Impulse was a very strong force, since stopping a special summon for free is a damn strong effect to have. And when the lockout from light, earth, and wind monsters is the only consequence, it doesn't mean much when the two best decks are predominantly dark and fire. Fiendsmith's a little fucked over by it, but you get my point. Fire's the year of hatred and burning and misery, because that's what the year of fire has been so far, and dark is just consistently one of the best attributes in the game. And the downside for that is that you don't get to play wind cards, which haven't been relevant in like 99% of formats. Oh, the tragedy. All in all, it was a pretty interesting event. Doom posting aside, top 4 was at least 4 unique decks, and with things like Plants, Exodia, and Striker getting top 32, it's probably not exactly what people were expecting to see from this event. That doesn't change the fact that Snake Eye won the event entirely, nor the fact that it's still mostly Tenpai, Yubel, Snake Eye, and bullshit the show. But I, for one, am kind of okay with this. I think it's just Stockholm Syndrome, but it's neat to see that Fuelos hasn't ruined the game in a large capacity. You know, the sense of dread can somewhat be dissipated so long as you don't have any care for your wallet. But there's neat stuff under the surface at least, and it's probably just copium because I've already decided I cannot afford Fuelos and will not be playing it. I'm more spectating the format currently than I am playing in it, but hey, it seems fine. It seems well enough. Hopefully the people who played had fun, because otherwise, good God. Who knows? Maybe I'm just coping hard, but that's it. The next YCS will be in November in Ecuador on the 2nd and 3rd, and you'll get to see a pretty ultimate rare from OTS Pack 26 in some of those events, which is my incredibly natural way of segueing into the next segment. Because we've now seen the ultimate rare cards from OTS 26 and what they look like specifically, and good God, they really did print these things and put them out into the world. Low looks fine if you ask me, as does Dia Bellstar from the pictures I've seen. Not my favorite ultimate rares they printed, but certainly better than things like the Skill Drain or the actual criminal ultimate rare Exodia head that we got in the last OTS pack. But Phantom of Yubel, holy shit. That is a yellow smudge and a floating arm. And it's supposed to be the big money ulti for the set, more or less. I mean, I guess it's Dia Bellstar over this, depending on what deck you're playing, but like, come on. And it's insane, because I don't think I've ever wanted an ultimate rare less than this piece of shit. So kudos, I guess. This is your news of the week. It's that Konami printed an ugly fucking card. And that's all I have to say about it. You remember the stainless steel Dark Magician Girl card Konami put up for sale some months ago? If not, there's no need to worry. Nobody else remembered it either. Except, of course, for Konami, who have taken to Twitter again to ask you to spend $150 of your hard-earned money in the US variety, which is shockingly the most affordable of any of their stainless steel cards when you remember that the Dark Magician was like $1,300. Who okayed that? This is an interesting deal, of course, since a playset of this is about the same as a playset of Fuelos, which isn't important, but it is true, which is alarming. Truthfully, there's nothing of value here in this segment. I just had to deal with seeing this bullshit on my timeline and felt like making fun of it again in this video because the stainless steel cards are just hilariously overpriced and under-worth it in my regard. But if you like it, go ahead. $150 USD, of course, in regards to the Americas, North and South variety, because fuck Europe, apparently. I don't know, I didn't see a European listing for it. Maybe I'm just wrong, or maybe you get the same treatment you get from your YCSs. Fucking, like, fuck all. Deal with it. Have fun, Europe. And in some community news, it was announced last week that YouTuber and streamer Farfa is no longer associated with Konami. He's been a welcome addition to European YCS streams to date, and is of course one of God's chosen content creators, blessed with the privilege to be bombarded by comments, insisting that creator boxes of cards are in fact rigged in the favor of those opening them, as was shown to be completely true when he pulled a valuable and incredibly profitable copy of Enigmaster Packbit from his box of Phantom Nightmare. Fun fact, I actually killed a man for a copy of that card. I beat him to death with a can of baked beans. Because there's nothing more valuable on this earth than a copy of Enigmaster Packbit, not even a human life. Still, he made the choice to part ways with the K-Man, with the stated reason being creative differences. This of course led to rampant speculation as to what the reason for why the departure was, whether it was him or Konami that cut the ties, and other nonsense that only is of importance to people who value time on Twitter over time with their loved ones. But this is not the drama that should matter this week. Because it doesn't matter what Farfa is doing with Konami, it matters far more what the hell it is Dazif is doing to my goddamned timeline. Because I saw this tweet put out by the one and only Konami representative Douglas Zeef, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. Professor Defense? Because he's sideways. So then X is attack? But what kind of nonsense is that? This is Yu-Gi-Oh! We use a question mark for our undefined attack stats, and this is proof that he's been spending too much time with the community's own MBT. MBT, of course, being short for Magic's biggest trader, as we all know. And that's the only game that I know that uses X for its undefined numbers, and is further proof that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is losing its core identity in the content creation sphere, okay? Because if we're going to be fucking stupid about shit that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, let's at least be fucking stupid about it. There's no X's here, folks. This shit's Virginity Con, and everyone's got a full weekend pass. Okay? Cool. It sucks. I don't even know. Fucking, who gives a shit? I don't care. You shouldn't either. But maybe now I could step in. Maybe you think Konami will let me be Cool Man 1000 and open the boxes? I only swear excessively and admitted to killing a man like 2 minutes ago. So that'll be fine. It'll be fine. We're good. Fuck it. And so that wraps it up for this week's update. As always, I've been your host, Craig Fee. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Not only doing so will impress your smoking Italian wife, but when you do, you'll immediately become a true duelist and can gloat over everyone else and gatekeep the term duelist like a pretentious douchebag. And what could be more valuable than that? Nothing. I always end it with val. I don't know why. Anyway, that's it. See ya.